How's it going, guys?
Again, good.
It's
Really good.
good to see you guys here. I love having these calls because this is my time that I get to celebrate with people after putting in a ton of hard work. And Julia, you have been killing it, right? I was
Yeah.
so happy to be on the call when you opened up your scores. And honestly, I was a little nervous because you said, oh no. But then you were like, oh yeah, I just killed my English score. And what'd you take it up from? You took it up from a 24
Four.
to a
Mhm.
33. That is absolutely incredible. And your overall score came up from a 24, or sorry, 22 all the way up to a 26, right?
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Karen, how did you
It's,
feel hearing
oh,
that
I was
news?
I was thrilled. I was like, oh my goodness, that's huge. That's the biggest jump any of my kids have ever made in the ACT of any kind. Well,
Yeah.
it is the biggest.
And
Well, it is the biggest jump. Yeah.
she knocked it out of the park. And she told me after she took the test, she's like, English, I rocked it out. And I was like,
Good.
yes, we want that confidence there. So that's awesome. So
Is your background?
I'm sorry.
Is that your background, or is your background math and science? You're an
Um,
engineer.
yeah, so I actually went to school for engineering, but
Once.
like I said, ended up finding my niche in teaching. So that's
Okay.
exactly where I ended up. So mhm.
Okay. I was like, man, that's a big number for English. So I was sharing that with my friends.
Well, it's funny because the math and science were kind of where I was, but I just figured out all the things that the English section was throwing out and been able to teach people how to get there as well. So again, Julia, I just find your story to be so inspiring, and I love
Yeah.
getting the chance to come on here and celebrate. So I'd love to just recap your journey so far because we're halfway through. We're not even done, right? We're not there yet. And so, you
Well,
know, fill me in, Julie. Like before we started, where were you with your ACT? How were you feeling about it? Can you tell me a little bit about that?
when I started, I had like a 23. Well, because I took one my sophomore year to test into a math. We had to get over a 23 on the ACT for
Mhm.
like to get in the CCP math course. So like I took it as a sophomore when all the juniors took it just to like to take the junior class.
Mhm.
Um or like to take the class I'm taking right now that's the seniors normally take. Uh, like a lot of the kids got higher than me, but I was like, it's okay because I got 25, I think, on the or 24 or 25 on the math. Like I got over. Like math was my best. But
Mhm.
then when I took it the previous time in February, I was like, not but yeah, in February, I was like really upset with those scores.
Well, you didn't have extended time either.
Yeah,
No.
Well,
yeah.
on this last one, all of those scores started elevating, right? We got the science up a couple points. We got the reading up another 4 points. We're going to be
Mhm.
really knocking out the math here over the next half of our program. But man, to see you get so excited because you had a mask on. I couldn't see your smile
Oh,
underneath your
I
mask earlier, but your eyes just like lit up when I heard you say, oh man, I got a 26. I brought it up 4 points. And to see you get that 33, you just crushed it, crushed
thank
it.
you.
So, what do you think you were missing back then that you were able to pick up so far, in our journey? What do you think was the difference there?
Um, I don't know. I feel like a lot of English things I like. Are you saying specific to English or like overall?
Kind of overall, I mean, when you think about, your belief in whether or not you could do it, the fundamentals, pushing yourself, were those big things that you picked up, working together?
Well, at first I was like, I've always like wanted to get at least a 30, but I knew it was going to be literal misery getting there. But like, it's not so bad so far.
No,
So that's
you've put
good.
in the hard work right now. Now we
Yeah.
just got to push a little bit further, right?
Yeah.
So why you mentioned, I want to get a 30. Why did you want to get a 30? What was your why? Like, why do you want to get there?
Well, I kind of want to beat my brother also.
Little competitive side. I like that.
Um, I don't know. Just to get a high ECT would make me feel so good about myself.
So you're getting that there, starting
And
to
it would
boost that confidence.
it would like also just make like the college auditioning process like I guess like easier. So
Yeah, opens up doors for different schools. And if
Right.
you can get that ACT up, you're definitely open and able to apply for different scholarships that you probably wouldn't be before. Does that make sense? So I know that I've mentioned this before here, Julia, and let me know if you think this is true now that you've kind of gone through this process. The ACT is challenging. It looks really, really hard, right? Is it predictable though? Do you kind of
Yeah.
know what's coming down the line? Can you tell me a little bit more about what you mean by that?
Well, I don't know why, and I've said this before to you, and I've even told my friends, and they at first they look at me kind of stupidly, but I'm like, let me explain. Like it never my mind that like yes, there's only one right answer to the four, but it's like not just about proving one right. It's about like finding out a way to prove the others wrong, or vice versa.
Yeah.
Like crossing out method, I just never thought of doing that. I only thought of doing that on the ones that I struggled with.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like since doing the crossing out method and stuff, it just I don't know that because like all the time for like taking standardized tests, I'm like, oh my gosh, it could so easily be like A or C, and I like wouldn't know. And I'm like both are right. I don't know which one, but like there's like only one obvious answer, and that got really
Yeah.
like
You figured out the secret, didn't you? It's called a standardized test because there can only be one correct answer. It wouldn't be fair if A and D were like equally right. Well, guess what? If they're both the same, they're probably wrong, right? And
right.
so you figured that out. And you're right. You said it perfectly. It's not about proving one right. It's about proving the other three wrong, especially on the English section. And that's
Mhm.
what you did. And it's like, oh, this is wrong because of X. This is wrong because of Y. You knew your fundamentals so well that you were able to quickly do that. And it didn't take you a ton of time, right? I think a lot of people think when they hear me tell them, you got to use this cross out method, they're like, I don't have time for that. I only got 45 minutes, right? And I'm like,
Right.
well, that means you're not confident enough in your skills. So that's the gap, right?
Mhm.
And the same thing is going to apply for you. If you take that exact same mentality into the science section as well, and the reading section and the math section, there's only one correct answer. Disprove the other three, and then you can push forward and find the one that you need, right? So last question here, Julia. You've been on this journey, right? Now I want you to pretend you're talking to somebody 3 months ago, right? That was standing in your shoes with your score kind of struggling there. What would you tell them is the key to, boosting their composite score up 4 points and just launching their English score up 9 points?
Oh, um,
What's your recommendation for them?
I tell them to take seriously the process of elimination that all the teachers tell us because
Uh-huh.
it helps a lot. And then the IC and the dependent clauses and independent clauses, understand those because that's like an easy, if you know those, that's an easy, good amount of questions.
Yeah. And I think that if you learn one skill, it doesn't just get you one question, it gets you like 6 or 7, right?
For sure.
It's just rinse and repeat. You don't have to learn 75 different skills. You only got to learn like 10 on that
Yeah.
English section to boost it up. So I am just so incredibly proud of you because you have been working so hard. And Karen, it's just been a joy to work with her and get on the sessions because I know she has a ton going on, right? She's in the plays, she's in all these other extracurriculars. And she tells me, she's like, I get out of school and I sprint home and I get online and we do our session. And that shows me just a resourcefulness that not a lot of people have, Julia. Okay. So that is just something that I want you to know that I'm just incredibly just proud of you for having and establishing that. Because that's going to be something that is going to help you even way past the ACT, right? Everything that I've been giving you, mindset wise, training wise, I hope you take it away from here and use it in your life and use it in your career and do all of those things. So Karen, I would love to get your take one more time. Just I hope you guys celebrated the other night when I told you to, because man, it's just such a big win for her. So
We got sushi. She loves sushi.
there you go. What do you want?
So my thoughts about this are, that they've said that with this COVID and everything that some schools may or may not take the test, whatever, but
Mhm.
I really wanted her to have the same ACT or similar, at least an A prep program.
Yeah.
I wanted her to learn how to do a test like that. Who knows what other future tests will come down the road, depending on what she goes into. If she goes into musical theater, it won't necessarily, but that doesn't mean that she won't also change careers and do something else.
Mhm.
But so I wanted her to have that, but also I really feel like you going over a lot of these things with her also solidifies a lot of what they've learned over the years that you either forget or you just need a refresher course.
Yep.
So I wanted her to have that. And yeah, we're tickled to death. I mean,
Well,
this is a much better, we did that Huntington and it was okay for, Jack and
yeah.
did okay, but for the girls, I'm much happier with your format.
Yeah, for sure. Well, like I said, I'm just so incredibly proud of you, Julia. And just know we're not there yet, right?
Right.
Don't stop when you're tired. I know that you've been putting in a ton of work and we're like, whew, man, I feel like I might be running on fumes right now. But use this as fuel to say, okay, if I can get a 33 in English, why can't I get one of those scores in math, in reading, in science, and continue driving those up? And that's what we have here as we approach that June test. So yeah, let's just make that commitment, double down, keep watching and consuming that content that I've been giving you, and just keep putting in the work. Okay.
Awesome.
All
Cool.
right. Again, guys, thanks for jumping on here. I love being able to celebrate with students that are hitting those score goals. A lot of times it's just all work for me, and I love being able to have these moments where it pays off. So congratulations, Julia.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend here. And yeah, Julia, we'll catch up here in our next session, okay?
Okay.